There are so many misconceptions on why countless people do not start their own garden and grow their own food. So today, I want to get in the greenhouse and just have a discussion about these misconceptions, give you some facts so that maybe you don't have to be discouraged and you can get growing your own garden today. Hi, welcome to God in the Greenhouse. I'm Nicola and I'm so happy you made it. So today I want to talk about the misconceptions of gardening. There are numerous misconceptions about gardening that stop way too many people from gardening, and I just want to touch on some of those. One of the biggest misconceptions, hi little lightning bug. Look at that beauty. Hi. Oh, it's so beautiful. One thing about me, I actually really love insects, like a lot. So, including spiders. Hi baby, come on, we're gonna put you over here in the lettuce. Go hang out. I don't mind sharing. I love lightning bugs. Who doesn't love lightning bugs? Come on now. Such a childhood nostalgic little memory there. So, alright, let's get back on subject. One of the biggest misconceptions of starting a garden and gardening is that you need to focus a lot of time and effort into doing such. But that's actually not always true, because it really does just depend on the type of garden you want to start and the size of garden that you want to start. So if you don't have a lot of time or energy, but you still want to garden, start a small garden. You can even start a windowsill garden. Growing your own herbs is very rewarding and saves a lot of money and can be very nutritious as well, because those herbs you can drink as teas and add to all sorts of dishes for extra spice and flavor in your meals. So you can go as small as just a windowsill herb garden, or you can go as big as a fenced-in all kind of vegetable garden. It really just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. You really don't need a lot of time or effort to grow a simple little garden. You can even grow 2 tomato plants, 1 pepper plant, 1 cucumber plant, and some marigolds, and that would save you quite a few trips to the grocery store, give you lots of nutrition. You don't have to put very much time and energy or space into a garden like that, but it's still very, very rewarding. Another misconception for gardening is that you have to start everything from seed, so you need to know how to grow all sorts of plants. Well, no, that's definitely not true. Starter plants, there's no shame in the game. If you need to buy them, buy them. If you don't want to grow from seed, don't grow from seed. Starter plants can be very inexpensive, especially if you look on your social media sites like Facebook Marketplace and things like that. You'll see that your neighbors are actually selling tomato starts or cucumber starts, even pumpkin starts, for very cheap, a lot cheaper than at the store, but at the same time, at the store they're not even that expensive. So really, if you want to start a garden and start it with starts, what I suggest is writing down all of the vegetables that you buy the most at the grocery store, weeding out basically what ones you eat and want to grow the most, and just starting with that. And then if you are successful and you enjoyed growing those veggies, add on to it the next year. And you'll see every year your garden will evolve, it'll get bigger. Ours is evolving and getting bigger. This year we're adding a cornfield, but we have to fence it in because we have dogs and chickens. And so we're taking one part of one fence of the garden and putting it over to another. you just evolve over the years. You don't have to start big. You can start small, and you can start with plant starts. You don't have to start with seed. Learn as you go. Now, if you want to save the seeds from the plants that you first initially buy, and then the next year learn how to grow those plants from seed, I think then you'll be more comfortable that way. Be a lot easier, because then you're already set up a little bit, because you've got your garden space already dug out and picked out, your box is done, whatever way you're doing it. And that's the big thing. It's your way. You don't always have to go with the professional rules, basically. It's always great to listen to the professionals and watch their videos and read the instructions and all that, definitely. But it doesn't mean you can't bend and break the rules. We're talking about nature here. There's nothing perfect about growing a garden. You can try to make it perfect all you want, but that's if you got to pick your battles, and that's a battle that you might want to pick, and that's fine. There's some people that love to have a great, beautiful, perfect garden. Me, I like to do a bunch all at once, so it looks like lazy gardening, but I promise you I'm always busy, hardly ever lazy. And my garden really has evolved. It has not been like this with the greenhouses since the start. So like I said, I started in the house, in the windowsill, just like a lot of people. So it really helps if you gain that confidence and you take ownership and say, this is my garden and this is how I want to grow it. This is what I have to use to grow it as well. I had to start out in mostly sand here. We didn't want to start out spending a bunch of money on the garden. We had to buy the fencing first. So the dirt actually had to be put to the back burner, and I ended up having to grow a lot of my first year plants in the sand, and I made it work. I just made my own fertilizer with rotting weeds and compost and stuff, and it flourished just fine. The last misconception I want to talk about is the biggest one I feel like stops so many people from starting their gardens, is the fact that they think they need a lot of plants to grow an efficient amount of food. And that's actually far from the truth. If you start researching the vegetables that you like to eat and start seeing in your research just how many of those fruits and vegetables that one plant will put out, and then you do the math according to how much you actually consume every week throughout the year, you will be quite surprised that you really only need like 3 tomato plants, especially if you grow a Roma tomato plant. One Roma tomato plant can grow up to 200 tomatoes or more in one season. Just one. That's enough for a lot of people for the entire year. So do your research, pick the right plants, and you can have a small, very efficient garden. You don't have to have a huge garden and grow a lot of plants in order to be successful. And also, you have to remember, all of us gardeners, most of us I should say, still go to the grocery store and have to buy produce. There's really no getting around it. I live in Michigan. There's not very many fruits, like citrus fruits and stuff we can grow here. Sometimes I miss out on my cold crops because the ground is still so frozen, so I end up having to buy all my broccolis and cauliflowers from the grocery store. Even my cabbages for the homemade sauerkraut that I make, I don't get to grow too many cabbages just because we get snow up here up until the end of April some years. So it really just depends on where you live, your area, and your situation take all of that into an account when you're thinking about starting your garden, and don't be discouraged by all the rules, because those rules are meant to be broken and bent in order to be weaved in and fixed into your situation and lifestyle. I promise you, you can start a garden and successfully grow it as long as you start small and don't overwhelm yourself, and grow what you will use, grow what you will eat, and you will just keep flourishing from there. Or you'll figure out it's not for you. You never know until you try, and it's not very expensive at all. And I would say that would be another misconception, is the expense of it all. It's actually really not that expensive to start a garden. You don't need all the frills and the little gadgets. You really don't. A good pair of gardening gloves, a good hose. But I do make my own fertilizer just by putting plant cuttings into a 5-gallon bucket with some water and letting that sit out for a couple days and get nice and mixed up in there. And then I just use that to water my plants like once or twice a week, and they grow pretty good with all those extra nutrients. That didn't cost me anything but time. So yeah, I hope that wasn't too much rambling. I hope that helped anybody that was discouraged about starting a garden. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If I can't help you, I bet there's somebody that's going to watch this video that maybe can, and we can all help each other. If you're a subscriber and returning, I really thank you so much for your support and watching my videos. If you're new here and you enjoyed this, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you can be updated on future videos. This is a new channel. We're growing here. We're all growing together and learning together. We do everything through God here in this channel. It is a faith-based channel. I do like to remind everybody to do everything through God and to spread the love and abundance that you get when you do everything through the Lord, because living through the Lord and spreading His love really is what's important in this life. And I thank you all so much for hanging out, and I hope you all have a very blessed day. Bye.